Warning, the following podcast contains speculation, which may be confused with spoilers, although it may also contain spoilers. You have been warned. We ain't found Sith! Hey everybody, and welcome to We Ain't Found Sith. I am your host, Eben, the man of the hour, the tower of power, too sweet to be sour, funky like a monkey. The sky's the limit and space is the place. Oh yeah.
And I'm Pedro.
We gotta come up with an intro for you. Don't worry.
I like that.
Yeah.
Hi everybody. Welcome, boys and girls.
Welcome everybody. This is our first official episode of We Ain't Found Sith. It's gonna be a little bit different format than when you heard on episode 0. We are basically gonna kind of have some segments to the show, and we're open to feedback. We know already a couple of you have given us some likes on SoundCloud. We know there's been a couple of comments on there. We have been reading that, and we appreciate your constructive
Criticism.
I was gonna say feedback.
Okay, yeah.
There wasn't really any criticism except for you, John. Yes, I know. I do like SNES games. Yeah, I don't know if he reached out to you, but
yeah, he told me.
Yeah,
but then again, everything he likes is on SNES, so there you go. We're gonna hurt some feelings.
Anyways, so we are recording tonight is the 4th of February, and Pedro, I don't know if you were aware, but last night was a pretty big night.
Oh yeah, there was like a tennis thing, right? No, I'm just kidding. I know there was a football game.
Oh no, forget the football game. I'm talking about Super Bowl ads.
Oh, can we say that? Can we say the S word? The big game, bro.
I think as long as we don't broadcast it.
Okay.
I mean, but you want to just call it the big game just for legal purposes?
I'd rather just dumb it down and call it a sports game.
Anyways, the game was not important. It was boring. The important thing is that we get some nice commercials for movies and TV shows that are coming out this year. Mm-hmm. And really, that's what's important.
Yep.
Right off the bat, the first one I kind of want to touch on is at the end of the night, the game was over, and then just before they did the whole ceremony and everything, we got a nice little quick teaser for Toy Story 4.
Yep.
Tell me your thoughts, Pedro.
Man, I got a love-hate. No, not yet. Hold it. I don't know. I have a love-hate thing with Toy Story because I feel like it's unnecessary sadness most of the time. But I do like that they pull on your heartstrings and stuff, but whatever. It's going to be a fun ride. It looks fun. They got the Key and Peele, right? It was the two stuffed animals just kicking Buzz in the head.
Is it Key and Peele? I know it's Key.
It has to be both.
I don't know.
No?
I'm
pretty sure it's both.
I know it's definitely Key.
It sounded like both of them.
But I don't know. I mean, we'll see the new characters. I know Bo Peep is back in this one, and she's sporting a little bit of a look of like
a badass.
I'm you know what? I'm tired of being on this lamp because if I recall, she was a lamp.
Was she?
Yeah, she was like a part of a lamp or something like that. It was her and her sheep, and there was like
I didn't know about the lamp thing.
But apparently, her look as much as she looks like a badass monk, has rubbed the people at PETA the wrong way.
Of course it did,
because she still has her shepherd's crook. Which, according to PETA, is a tool of oppression against the sheep. And, it's something that...
Whatever. Shut up, PETA. Jesus.
I mean, I don't think in this movie she's going to use her crook on any sheep.
It's a toy.
Controversy aside, so you're willing to give it a chance, which is good because it's more than what a lot of people are willing to give it. Then, there was another commercial last night, and... I know I'm happy for this. I want to go see this. I know a couple of our friends are looking forward to this. Shout out to Chris and Marco. But we got a trailer for Hobbs and Shaw, which is a spin-off on the Fast and Furious franchise. Mm-hmm. And I see you shaking your head. And yeah, I'd take it.
Hit him out. Gus. Trash. There you go.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
I don't know, man. I still have a soft spot in my heart for a nice action movie where there's no thinking required. I'm just gonna go sit, eat some popcorn,
I guess,
watch some crazy stuff that can never happen in real life.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, that's true. The last time I saw a Fast and Furious movie, I just rolled my eyes like 90% of the movie. It gave me a headache. It was bad.
Well, all I know is that between The Rock, Jason Statham, and man, I'm just gonna call him sexual chocolate.
Just remember, he could edit that.
Idris Elba. Oh, the testosterone that was coming out of my TV was just overpowering, and I'm gonna get my popcorn ready. I'm gonna go down to the AMC Tamiami and get myself a big old beer, and I'm just gonna sit there munching on popcorn, drinking beer, and I'll just say it, man. I may just have to have some feelings deep down inside that may have to be shoved down further inside.
Nope, I will not. I will not be watching that movie at all. But you could have fun.
Listen, man.
It is what it is.
I don't go that way, but but 2 out of 3 that I would go that way for.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. It's 2019, baby. It's all good.
Yeah. Then we also got what I think was the commercial of the night. What started off as another Bud Light commercial, and then wound up turning into a Game of Thrones commercial where the Mountain killed the Bud Knight.
Here's a fun fact. I've never seen a Game of Thrones episode, so I don't know anything about that. I just saw Knights. Cool.
Well,
trash. No, not trash. It's just I don't know anything about it.
Well, I'm not going to tell you to jump. Well, you've got a couple of months because the final season's coming out. You got some time, man. I'll hook you up with my HBO Go password.
Now we're talking. Okay. Yeah. I ain't going to pay for it.
I could get you in touch with my Uncle Nefarious. He can tell you all about it.
I'm all about it. Let's do it.
Yeah. All right, and then let's get into the real meat of the issue here.
Okay.
Let's start off with the Captain Marvel.
Okay, let me just start off by saying I don't like any single one. No, that's not true. I like a couple of them, but most of these Disney Marvel movies I think are complete garbage. But trash. Yes. But do they make one hell of a trailer every time? Every one of their trailers are freaking fantastic.
You see, man, I don't know because I've enjoyed all of the Disney Marvel movies, all the Marvel Studios stuff. Like I
agree. I enjoy them, but they're forgettable as hell. I leave the theater a week later. I don't remember the plot. I just remember the end credit scene. That's all I remember about the movie.
Not a fan, man. I'm going to disagree with you on this one.
Fan.
And at this point, they've built up so much credit with me that I'm.
But that's fanboying. That's a whole other thing. I'm talking about I just don't like the structure. It's always the same thing. It's a bad guy, whatever. I don't care.
I don't know, man. This one looks good, and then
like I said, the trailer. I will say it firsthand. Those trailers look amazing. I loved the Endgame. Was that what we're bringing up?
Endgame? No, we're talking about Captain Marvel right now.
Oh, Captain Marvel?
Yeah.
Captain Marvel's all right. But Endgame, whew.
I don't know, man. But again, to quote some podcasters that I listen to, I think Disney has a time machine.
Oh, yeah.
And we get a young-looking Sam Jackson. Because, yes, Disney has a time machine because, let's face it, every single one of these movies with these Disney movies where they go back and they show you a younger version of an actor, it's flawless.
Flawless, yes.
Wait.
Princess Leia? That did not look good.
Well, that was Lucasfilm. That wasn't Marvel Studios.
All right. As long as we're on the same page on that one, that did not look good.
You know what it is, too? I think, for example, Tarkin
looked weird, yeah.
Well, because I think it's just the amount of screen time.
That's true, too.
Like the Marvel films, they've been keeping that screen time low. And also, they didn't have the, Peter Cushing to actually be there.
Obviously.
You can take the actors like you've been doing with the Marvel films and then de-age them. But even then, I've seen a couple of other movies have done it, and it just doesn't look right.
Yeah, but that's Robert Downey Jr. when he was young in that other movie. I forgot what movie it was.
In Iron Man 3? No, Civil War.
Was it? I think it was when he was young and he was wearing a T-shirt. That looked really good. What's his name?
Well, you've got Michael Douglas.
Michael Douglas, and then the World Eater.
Well,
no, not World Eater. What was that guy? He was a planet. Guardians of the Galaxy.
Ego. Yeah, Kurt Russell.
Woo, amazing. That guy looked like he. No.
Well, also Michelle Pfeiffer.
Oh yeah.
When they show you young Michelle Pfeiffer.
Yep.
I mean, like I said, I don't think Disney's using.
Speaking of,
they're not using CGI. They got a time machine.
Let me throw something out there. No one gives Ant-Man 2 that much love. Yo, that movie is really good. I love that movie. And that's a Disney Marvel movie, and I love that movie.
You know what it is, though? I think because the movie came post-snap, and, like, people were just waiting throughout the entire movie to see, like, how was the snap going to affect the movie.
Oh.
Like
I wasn't. I was all in for that ride. I love the Wasp. She was, like, so sassy. Oh, yeah. That was fun.
But yeah, man. So Captain Marvel, like I said, I'm excited for it. I'm excited we're getting Skrulls.
Okay, that I'm excited. What I'm actually excited for is this merger or potentially merger of the Fox franchises coming to these the Disney or Marvel, whatever.
Yeah, Marvel Studios.
Woo. If they got the Skrulls, they could go ham and cheese on some. What was it called? Secret Wars?
No, but you're talking about Secret Invasion.
Secret Invasion, that one. Woo, that was a cool storyline. I like that. If they could go into that for the next trilogy or whatnot, that would be nice.
I think we've got to be at least a few movies away from a Secret Invasion storyline.
Oh man, but they're already introducing the Skrulls. Why not?
Yeah,
I say do it.
But I mean, I kind of feel like okay, so we know that we're getting Skrulls.
Fantastic Four.
The speculation with the Skrulls is that there's a Skrull in Shield, and that it's Nick Fury's boss is a Skrull.
Oh, is that the plot?
That's speculation. I don't,
okay.
But that's what people are saying, that this guy that's Nick Fury's boss, he's secretly a Skrull. Which, if you're doing that in Captain Marvel, then you can't really then reveal later on that there were Skrulls secretly in power throughout the world. Because it kind of
how they do it, I don't care as long as they do it. I don't care how they go. Disney's creative enough to come up with some bull crap.
Well, I was just gonna say full on Kree-Skrull war. Let's just give us a team of Avengers and we do the Kree-Skrull war, which I think they're gonna kind of touch on that in this movie. And then like you said, Skrulls means that eventually at some point Fantastic Four,
X-Men, all of them. I want them all in there. Let's do it.
I want to say we're probably like a few years away from an X-Men in the Marvel MCU.
I don't think so. I don't think Disney is going to wait that long to open up that treasure chest. You know how much money they'll make on that? It's ridiculous.
Well, I mean, I think you're going to start seeing...
Especially with this Phoenix movie coming out, everyone's going to hate on it, and then all Disney has to do is be like, we're making one, and then everyone's going to be like, yay! It's just going to happen like that.
Well, I mean, we know that it's been filmed, and we know that they're working on it. I haven't heard a release date.
Neither have I, but I heard it was...
I know they keep...
I haven't seen anything about, but I heard it was trash. There you go.
Yeah. I know that they're also changing. They were changing the release date on the New Mutants.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, you don't know. They might finish this thing and they might be like, well, these movies have been filmed and we got them sitting there, but we don't want to lose money on them, but we're just going to release them straight to video. And
I hope they don't do that.
Or strike up a deal with, or maybe just put them on the streaming service.
I don't even want to talk about that thing. That thing gets me so mad.
I don't know, man. I'm kind of hyped for it. If the price is good,
But it's only Disney. I mean, you because you like Disney, but I don't care.
But it's Disney, and then it's also all the encompassing stuff that Disney owns. I mean,
that's what you think. They haven't said that.
Well, I mean, details will come out, and we'll know more. Exactly. That's why I said I'm kind of excited for it. I don't know fully yet, but
I'm not
it is
paying an extra. What is it? $7 probably.
All right. No. But let's stop beating around the bush and let's get to the big one of the night, the one that was aired right before kickoff on the game, and that was the Avengers Endgame trailer.
Amazing looking, as all of them do, and then they come out and they're trash.
Now I don't know if you've gone back and rewatched it, but I kind of rewatched it a couple of times.
I saw it twice.
Okay, well, I've kind of gone back. I've kind of gone through it twice, 3 times, maybe 20. But I kind of was like going through it, frame by frame and stuff like that. Definitely, we can tell that this is going to be post-snap.
Obviously.
We've got what looks like a basically empty New York City with Citi Field abandoned. Then we get like a poster where it's like, now that they're gone, what do we do? And stuff like that. So it does seem like it's like the snap has happened.
It's gritty.
Yeah. And then it does seem like there some time has passed, because we do get that scene with and we got it in the other trailer where Ant-Man shows up at like the Avengers compound, and he's like, we met a few years ago and all of that. So it does seem like some time has passed. But man, I'm hyped up.
It looks good, but it always looks good, and then it comes out and it's not really that good. It's a little bit.
In your opinion,
trash. Yeah, it's a little trash.
Yeah,
it's a little trash.
The views brought in by Pedro do not reflect the views of We Ain't Found Sith.
Yeah, it's my opinion. That's why I'm saying it. But no, I don't know. What was the first one? Infinity Gauntlet? Dude, the trailers for every trailer on that movie looked so good, and then you watch it and it's just a punching fest. Everyone just punching each other in the face forever, and then at the end the guy snaps and then everyone dies. But I wanted a plot.
But that's what the Avengers movies have been.
In the face. Nah.
The Avengers movies are like
doesn't make it good, baby. It doesn't make it good.
But you get the stories, you get them in all the individual character movies, and then when the Avengers get together, it's like here's a quick little story and here's all of you.
I get the premise, but it doesn't make it good. It just doesn't make it good. The movie itself wasn't, in my opinion, wasn't good because of that. It was just a punch fest, and I don't care about a punch fest, especially when everybody's CG. It was just a cartoon. Everyone's fake punching each other in the face.
Well, that's
who
where
was
you and
the
I
only real one? I think it was a Star-Lord was the only real person punching the big green Muppet dude in the face.
I don't know, man.
That was the only actor who was actually there punching the dude in the face. Everything else was CG.
You got Doctor Strange is there too.
Oh, Doctor Strange was the second one, but he wasn't punching nobody. He was using his little magic.
Drax is not CG. He's in makeup.
You're right. So there was 3 people.
I think also Nebula is in makeup,
no,
even though like
the fight scenes were CG for her.
Yeah. Well, then I think the fight scenes are probably CG for most of them, because I don't.
That's true. That's true. I didn't think about that, but yeah, I think everything was cartoon.
I don't think Benedict Cumberbatch actually flies.
Well, no, but they could harness.
Although who knows? I mean, the man has many talents.
He's very special.
But so that is, I don't know, man. I'm hyped up for the movie. I know we're getting Captain Marvel first. It should hopefully be a pretty damn good year for movies as far as that's concerned. And I'm also hyped up for the Game of Thrones, the final season, especially since I think like the last 3 episodes are like 80-minute long episodes. So it's basically getting like 3 mini movies to end the series with.
I wouldn't know anything about that.
But that's the big stuff. That's the stuff that was from last night. There was some more news today, not movie related. Why don't you tell me a little bit about that?
Oh, the Xbox Live going to Switch, mobile, and what is it? iTunes and what's the Google? Which one's the Android? Android? That's what it's called? Yeah, it's going to all 3. That's actually a pretty big deal because you don't really see that happening between these competitors. So, like, Xbox Live going to Switch, that could mean a lot of things. It could mean nothing also, but who knows? I speculate that maybe we're going to be able to play third parties with Xbox Live, which means you could actually talk to the people on Xbox rather than just be silent the whole time. That would actually be a big deal. Like Rocket League right now, it's cross-platform. You could play on both Switch and Xbox. The same Fortnite as well, but you can't talk to each other. With this, you can. You would have to use like a side program to use it, like Discord or something.
Yeah, I mean, I would assume so.
Yeah.
Or I mean, they might just introduce like Xbox Live Party. Onto those platforms.
That's what I'm thinking. So that's actually, but I don't actually think that they're gonna make games for each other. If they do, that would be freaking. Ooh, that would be so sick.
Well, I mean, right now all the only speculations about Xbox Live. And obviously, details have not gone further than that.
Yeah, but that's like the beginning. That's a cusp. You know what I mean? What could that mean future? We could see maybe a Banjo-Kazooie coming to Switch. Or let Nintendo take the reins of Banjo-Kazooie and let Microsoft get the money for. Oh, that would be. I don't know if you know about that world, but Banjo-Kazooie is probably one of the best platformers ever made. 3D platformers.
I think Banjo-Kazooie was that like the
64,
original Xbox?
64, Nintendo 64.
Nintendo 64.
Yeah,
I think I kind of remember it, but it was never. But like, I think Banjo-Kazooie came out, in the late 90s?
Yeah. It was like 98, 99?
Okay, so I was almost graduating high school.
Yeah.
So that game was not in my world of...
It's a classic. It's really good. And at that time, Microsoft bought Rare, which was making all of these hits. They were making Banjo-Kazooie. They made Killer Instinct. They made Jet Force Gemini, if anybody remembers that. They made like a whole Donkey Kong Country. They made Donkey Kong Country 1, 2, and 3. Donkey Kong 64, Diddy Kong Racing. They made all these hits, and then here comes Microsoft. They buy it, and they try to take the reins. GoldenEye, Perfect Dark,
GoldenEye.
All these games.
You know what? We didn't talk about GoldenEye on episode 0. Shout out to GoldenEye,
man. Yeah, man, that's a game right there. That revolutionized the whole shooting genre. That was really good.
Well, I mean, without GoldenEye, do we get Counter-Strike?
Without GoldenEye, well, yeah, you would have, but it would have taken a lot longer. GoldenEye was the jumping point because we had Duke Nukem's, we had the Doom, we had all these shooters.
Right.
We
But
had
up until that point,
Wolfenstein.
Right, but up until that time, first-person shooters were basically just
PC.
single-player story games.
It
wasn't until I think like Quake 3 or something like that.
Quake 3 is what became or Quake 1 was the competitive one.
Right, but it wasn't I think until GoldenEye where all of a sudden you got a first-person shooter multiplayer into the hands of like
console.
that
was a console thing.
Right, but keep in mind that
because we were doing that on PC for a while already.
Yeah, but like for example, I grew up as a console gamer.
Exactly.
And I never got into the whole PC gaming thing, and still to this day, I'm not a PC gamer.
Yeah.
When I do play games, I do play them on my Xbox, and that's kind of where I am, where my realm of knowledge is. And it wasn't until I think the N64 and GoldenEye that I learned what a first-person shooter was, and it
changed the game.
Yeah.
That one and Perfect Dark changed the game of shooters forever. If it wasn't for those are the pioneer of that thing.
Right. But so Xbox Live, looking to expand, looking to kind of go cross-platform,
which is a big deal, man. Yeah. I'm kind of excited for that.
Yeah. Other news, a comic book series that I loved it. I know it was probably one of the first things I ever collected, like from the first all the way to the end. I never actually bought the individual books, but I would buy the trades like every 2-3 months.
Me too.
And that's why The Last Man has been ordered to series for FX.
Big deal.
It's
really good.
Super big deal.
Yeah.
And oh man, I'm kind of excited for it because it's an interesting story to tell, especially in these days that we live in. I mean, when the book came out, in the early 2000s?
Hit us with a little intro. What's it about, bro?
All right, so Why the Last Man, for those of you that aren't familiar, is a series by Brian K. Vaughan that...
He's also doing Saga, which is killing it. I don't know if you've been reading Saga, but he's been killing it.
No, I kind of stopped reading
Sorry, I interrupted
comics
you.
a while.
Go ahead.
But anyways, so this book takes place, in the early 2000s is when it came out? I want to say it came out in
I read it once it was over, so I don't know.
Well, I started reading it when the first trade came out. I got the first trade because I remember reading something about it in Wizard magazine or something like that, and I got the first trade and I was hooked, and it was one of those things where I was like, all right, well, I got the first trade, and I get kind of weird about these things, and once I start buying something in trade format,
you need to get them all.
I need to get the trades.
Yes, of course.
I can't buy something in trade format and then switch over to the individual issues.
Yes.
Especially because usually by the time the first trade comes out, the first couple of issues usually get super expensive.
Mm-hmm.
But Why the Last Man takes place, and I want to say the series started in the early 2000s, and an event happens.
Yeah.
That they never really tell you what that event was.
Well, they kind of do, but not really. It
just
comes out of nowhere.
Well, they give you a theory.
In the end, they tell you.
Well, they don't really tell you. They just kind of give you a theory as to what they think happened.
Yeah.
But something happens and it wipes out every single creature on the planet with a Y chromosome.
Yes. Oh my God, it was so good.
Except for the protagonist of the story
and his little monkey
by the name of a man by the name of Yorick and his monkey Ampersand. Which, for those that don't know, ampersand is the and symbol.
Yeah.
That little figure 8 looking thing.
Yeah.
And we don't know, the entire story, we don't know why Yorick is the only man alive, but it quickly becomes
a big
deal. Problem.
A huge deal.
Luckily for Yorick, his mom works in the government, and basically just because of chain of command and because everybody that was above her in the government was a man, his mom becomes president of the United States, and so she's able to basically assign him a Secret Service agent to watch over him. And Yorick has to essentially kind of go into hiding. But his girlfriend, who had been away, is out there somewhere, and he needs to find out, where is she, what's going on.
Also, cool plot point about that is Yorick is an escape artist.
Which
makes him adds to his character because he's really sneaky about stuff.
He's an amateur magician, and as part of and he's an escape artist. This is his main thing. He idolizes Houdini and stuff like that.
So cool.
But I just in today's today's climate, like I'm just wondering.
Yeah, with all this feminist power
Yeah.
and stuff, this is gonna kill it. This is gonna kill it. This is the right time to come out with this.
Well, is it, or is it gonna draw some bad press? Because let's remember, when all the men die, the world kind of goes to shit in the beginning.
But
because
no spoilers.
No
unless
spoilers.
we want to go there, I don't mind.
Well, I mean, look, the book series has been out for over a decade.
Yeah, but now the show's about to come out. You don't want to spoil it for the people.
But it kind of draws on something that is kind of reality, which is that at all the power plants, at all of the construction sites, at all of the
most of it is run by dudes.
It's pretty much mostly men, and so when the workforce that was keeping all that
airplanes falling out of the sky,
power failures on a massive, and all of that. But it's cool because we get some interesting, first of all, it's every guy's fantasy, right? If I was the last guy on Earth, because then I could just
it's not
I
such
could
a good
sleep
deal.
with every woman. It's no,
it's not such a good deal.
No, especially when you take into account there's a group of women out there that call themselves the Amazons who are out there trying to kill him.
Yeah, they just don't like dudes.
Well, it's not that they don't like dudes. It's it becomes a religious cult where it's the men were killed for a reason, and we need to show that women can live on without. And then there's obviously
I took it as they just don't like dudes. Those chicks were
adamant. Yeah, they were. And then, but also there's also the scientists want to study him.
Oh yeah,
because why didn't he die?
I can't wait for it.
It's
so good.
It seems now. What I'm hoping though is I'm hoping that FX will be I hope this isn't we're picking it up for a season, and then they end the season on a cliffhanger, and then they don't get picked up or something like that. I hope they have that at least.
I think they'll get picked up. It's a hot topic.
Yeah. Also, I think the series ran 150 issues.
Oh man, it's 10 trades. I remember that 10 trades, 5 each.
So 50 issues. Yeah, so I'm hoping that I don't want to see a 1 season storyline, but I'm hoping it'll be a 2 or 3 season. I hope they don't try to that's one of my issues been with The Walking Dead, where it's just
no, that's not even.
I know the Walking Dead comics are an ongoing story, man. And they're still around.
Yeah, but nothing changes.
But I feel that show should have ended 3 or 4 seasons ago.
Yeah, nothing changes. It's just
and just depressing.
You know what makes me sad about that? And this is a segue to the next topic. Robert Kirkman dropped Invincible towards the end of its run to do Walking Dead. And Walking Dead, nothing happens in Walking Dead. It's the same crap all the freaking time. And Invincible was so much more interesting.
Well, Invincible's just fun.
It's so good.
And the reason we bring up Invincible is that Invincible has also been ordered into series, although an animated series by Amazon.
Yes.
And
I'm in. Let's do it.
Yeah, especially because when you do it as an animated series,
it's going to
win. That hopefully that means we're going to get all the crazy side characters with all their crazy powers.
Oh yes,
Alan the Alien,
explode.
Yeah, all of that.
Let's go.
Man.
No, Battle Beast, best character ever made, man. No one knows
that, and Omni Man and his sick stash, things
that
would look just cheesy.
Their ultimate god was Freddie Mercury. Come on, be real.
Yeah,
they had to be.
Yeah, because all the Viltrumites have stashes.
They had even the chicks. No, they don't. They don't.
But I know that I'm glad it's going to be animated because that means we're going to get some crazy action. We're going to get some crazy looking characters, and I don't know what Amazon Prime what their stance is on ratings.
Have you seen the Tick?
No.
On Amazon?
No,
it's not bad. It's not bad. They did a good job with it. They changed everything about it, but they did a good job. So I'm okay with it.
Well, I was referring to the comic for Invincible. It can get pretty gory.
Oh, but no, they could do it with Amazon.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying. I don't know what. I don't have an Amazon Prime account.
Oh.
And I'm the minority of people. I know that
you should get one. They have they have all of Batman. I mean, if that's not enough to sell you, they have Batman and Batman Beyond, all the movies for Batman.
Yeah, but I have those on Blu-ray and DVD.
Oh, but you could just watch it on your phone while you're taking a dump or something. Who cares?
Well, first of all, I don't take half-hour dumps.
Well, whatever you can. That's the whole thing. You have the option, baby.
Yeah, but no, man, I don't have Amazon Prime. 90% of the stuff that I order on Amazon, you can get free shipping on it anyway. And I don't need it like tomorrow, so I don't mind waiting like the week or whatever to get it.
We're not sponsored by Amazon, but I'm going to say right now, Amazon Prime is pretty dope. You get that junk 2 days. It's a pretty good time, man. You should get it. I'm just going to throw it out.
Well,
you should get it.
Maybe we'll see. Maybe when I
we're not
find a
sponsored
job
by
again.
Amazon.
maybe when I find a job again, I'll do that. Speaking of finding a job, this Bumble business.
Oh, you could. I don't know anything.
First of all, that commercial, I thought that was a Nike commercial.
I don't know. I didn't see it.
Here's Serena Williams on a tennis court, and she's wearing her Nike gear. I'm like, all right, Nike commercial, whatever. And then it turns into an ad for Bumble, to which I'm like, wait, but isn't Serena married? And then it's like, oh, yeah, because Bumble also has, like, Bumble Friends and Bumble Business. And I'm like, I don't know who's using Bumble to find a job. Like, I don't know who's out there. And it's
but
like,
you can, so that's the thing.
Right, but it's like, I'm going to swipe right or left on this person's bio. Like, what am I supposed to, like, remove my bio and then put up my resume?
Who knows?
Like, is that how it's supposed to be?
Who
like,
cares? But now you have the option.
I mean, I don't know.
You could get a job, you'd get paid, and smash. What's up?
But the thing is, like, what if, like what if it's like, oh, I'm not gonna hire him because I don't like the way he looks.
Whatever.
You know, because let's be honest, I'm a large and in charge kind of guy here, and you know, as much as I tend to like only upload pics of my face, you know, you can kind of see it in my face that I'm a chunky kind of guy.
Oh man.
So what if it's
no
like
discrimination.
to me? It's like, what? How do you know no discrimination? You never know, because you never know if like somebody who could be a potential employer swiped left on you.
Yeah.
Like you only ever know if like you swiped right on each other.
That's the negative way to look at it.
You know.
I say get paid and get smashed. What's up? That's all I'm saying. It's all good.
Well, it is what it is. Anyway, so that kind of brings us up to speed on the what's going on lately with the news and stuff like that. At least the news that we care about. Tell me a little bit about last week. You were itching to get home because you had a new game.
Kingdom Hearts. Okay. Well, here's a quick little review from me. Kingdom Hearts. It's if you've ever played any other ones, it's pretty much the same thing, except, geez, the graphics on this are up to par to the movies. Okay. I'm not even kidding. Like you could compare it to the actual movies, like Tangled or Frozen. It's the same crap.
Okay, well, I've never played a Kingdom Hearts game, but it's an RPG, right?
Action RPG, yeah.
Action RPG. Okay, so what's the difference between an action RPG and an RPG?
What you're thinking RPG, you're thinking the turn-based fighting, right?
Right.
Okay, so it's an RPG in the sense that you're playing as a character, role-playing game. You're playing as the character, his role. You still have the Final Fantasy aspect where you have the normal attack, magic attack, items, whatever, run away, all that good stuff. But you press a button and he does a move. So it's the action side of it where you press buttons and it does moves. You could dodge, he dodges.
Okay, so like an old school action game.
Exactly, but you still have the digital, not digital, like the number system. Your hit does 8 damage. This guy has 28 damage. You know, that's still there. So magic has more damage. You know, it's still strategic in that sense.
All right.
You still have summons, just like in the Final Fantasy games, but it's an action fighter. So you're doing it real time rather than waiting your turn and doing it.
And then the thing that kind of sets this franchise apart from a lot of the other franchises, it kind of takes place within like the Disney universe.
No. It takes place within its own universe, and they go into different universes at a time. So, like, these characters, Sora and Goofy and Donald, they're a ragtag team, and they go to, like, Toy Story World. And they go into their universe, and then they turn into toys, too, and they adapt to their universe. And then they play their storyline in that universe, and they leave, and they have plots that they have to get to, they have to complete in each, or missions they have to complete in each world. So, in that sense, it's not that they're in the Disney universe, but rather it's their universe infiltrating Disney universes. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Does that make sense?
It's sort of, yeah.
It shouldn't because it's Kingdom Hearts and none of it makes sense, but it's fun as hell. My review of it's really good. Graphics are amazing. Gameplay is super spectacular. It's super fun. The visuals are ridiculous. Storylines for kids, really stupid, retarded as hell. But, I mean, if you're into that lore, then go for it, because there's like 20 games. I'm exaggerating, but there's a bunch of games before that game for you to get the lore where people split themselves into two and they're the same person, the same hearts. This guy is a heart split with this other guy. It's very confusing. But the gameplay's fun, looks really nice, but it's for kids.
Yeah, it sounds kind of convoluted.
It's really dumb. But the gameplay and the visuals are really good.
Right. But yeah, so there was that, and then I mean, let's just kind of, we were teasing it last episode. we kind of said we didn't know if we were going to do it or not, but I decided, let's go ahead, let's talk about it this week. You said there was some stuff being released for you were super hype also for the Amazing Spider-Man game because there was some stuff that was coming out for the Amazing Spider-Man.
That's old news now, man. That was last week. Should have said that week. But no, okay. What happened was they had so now they released the skins for Spider-Man, which is Fantastic Four bag, the Bodastic Bagman, I think it was called, and the Future Force?
The Bombastic Bagman?
That one. And then what's the white one?
Future Foundation?
Future Foundation. So they released those, which is kind of a big deal because they haven't Marvel hasn't acknowledged Fantastic Four in years. I think the last time they did was in Jessica Alba movies.
Okay, well, I have not been reading comics for a few years now, but I do try to kind of keep up with what's going on in the world of Marvel and the world of comics. Mm-hmm. And I do believe that for the last few months, they have been basically in the process of bringing the Fantastic Four back.
Right. And I think it's because of their merger with Fox, right? It has to do something with that.
I most likely, I know that one of the reasons they took it away was that basically they were unhappy with the direction that Fox was taking the characters in, and they were like, you know what, we're not gonna feed into this.
I don't think that's true because they weren't even making comic books. They weren't even making their own comics.
That's why, because they didn't want that like tie-in, and they didn't want people who liked.
That's bullcrap. You know for a fact that they just didn't want advertisement for these Fox movies. They didn't want to advertise these things for the Fox movies.
I don't know, man.
I guarantee you that's why they did it. It's Disney.
Well, I mean, again, I don't have full details. I'm not privy to that. I know that yes, the Fantastic Four, they were written out of the Marvel universe
for years, for a long ass time,
with the exception of the Thing and the Human Torch.
No, well, maybe.
Yeah,
I don't know. I know the Fantastic Four as a series was done,
but I know
they didn't do anything with it.
I know that Reed and there was Reed Richards and Susan Storm, as well as their kids, were written out of the comic books. And they were basically, I think the story of them coming back is they've been like in another dimension.
I don't know.
They kind of been time
I know it was
dimension
after,
jumping.
What was it? Was it after the Worlds Colliding saga? What was that thing called?
I think so. That sounds familiar.
Yeah, I forget the name. It was when all the worlds combined. That's why we have the Spider-Verse and all those other things.
Speaking of which, Spider-Verse nominated for an Academy Award, Best Animated Feature.
Yeah.
Which
it's really good.
It is really good. That movie, I hope that movie better win. Like I'm an Oscars apologist. I watch the Oscars every year. I enjoy the Oscars for what they are, which is for achievement and like storytelling and film.
I want to get into the nitty-gritty of it. Why do you think it was so good?
Well, first of all, it tells a really great story.
Yeah.
I mean it kind of takes the Miles Morales story from the comics and fixes it because the Miles Morales story that I remember, it had elements of this, but it wasn't full on this. I think it's because it took them a while to find their footing with Miles.
I don't agree with that, but I can see where you're coming from. I actually love the storyline for the comic books. I thought it was really good.
Right. But but I like the way this one is. I like how it takes like the elements from the comic book storyline and kind of cleans them up, makes them into a nice little package.
Yes.
Also, the animation is just.
Not Fox. Sony did some magic, man, because they created their own art style. They created their own animation style. I don't know if you noticed, but I don't know the technicality of it, but I think they run at double frames. Did you notice that?
I have no idea of that.
What I'm talking about? Okay, have you noticed that when they're doing any action sequence, they kind of look like choppy?
Okay, yeah.
That's because they designed it, not necessarily that they designed it, but it's supposed to mimic a comic book as much as possible. They had also the paint dots. What is that thing called?
The motion capture?
No. The dots, where in comic books, where they were trying to.
Oh.
I forgot the name of it, but you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So they used to use dots instead of full painting the like a flat paint. Like if you have an arm and it was blue, like Spider-Man's arm, instead of being all blue, they just polka dotted it blue so that from far away it looks blue, and that's to preserve the cost of ink to paint on his arm. They did that in the movie. If you pay attention to it.
Also, I would assume that like full on painting would cause the paper to take longer to dry.
That doesn't matter. It's literally to save money. That's all they did.
Well, and also, I mean, it is from a different era.
Yeah, back in the day, these were throwaway comic books. Were throwaway. You read them, you throw away. But anyway, they copied that so that everything in the movie was textured that way, which is unheard of. And the double frames for every frame, what they were doing, I think they were doing, instead of 30 frames per second or 25 frames per second, they were doing 50 per second of animation. I think, I'm not 100% sure, but I know that they were doing that specifically to mimic a comic book, which means if you press pause at any moment of that movie, it looks like a panel from a comic book. And they did it specifically. There's no blur. It's designed specifically to look like that. And I think that is, so good. So freaking good.
Well, I mean, you're an artist, so
it's
obviously
so
you
good.
appreciate stuff
and then on
like
top
that.
of that, the storyline of it, the pacing of the
storyline
movie
is I love the storyline.
Oh my
God.
God.
And as like I didn't read them because I wasn't reading comics at the time, but I know the story of the Spider-Verse story.
Yeah. Well,
and
I don't know the Spider-Verse.
The whole thing
myself.
where like they're fighting like the others, the Morlun and his family and all of that. And I kind of remember a little bit. They did a little bit of that into like the animated series as well.
Yeah.
Although they did that like a couple of years ago, and I don't really remember a whole lot of it. I just seen clips here and there. But I know that storyline, one of the cool things about it is like, we're going to pull in like every version of Spider-Man that has ever been created, as well as create, a few more and stuff like that. And just the way they did it with like, and every time they introduce a new version of Spider-Man, they're going to give you like a comic book splash page and then kind of give you a rundown on their origin.
They did it so good. So this is my criticism with Disney. Disney makes no effort to do anything new. They do things that they know is safe. They know that they do everything that they know is safe, that they know is going to make money, that they know it's going to succeed, but they never take a risk. This movie was 100%. My point. Civil War, I don't think it should have been Peter Parker. It should have been Miles Morales, because that's this generation's Spider-Man. Who cares about Peter Parker? Peter Parker was the 60s. There was my Spider-Man is Peter Parker.
Whoa.
Listen,
Peter Parker was not the
60s. Let me finish.
Peter Parker was the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, early 2000s.
I'm talking about when he came out. And no, the 90s, it wasn't Peter Parker. It was Ben Reilly. That was the Spider-Man of
that was like a storyline that lasted like less than a year.
But that's what everybody was looking at that time.
And it wasn't Ben Reilly like all the time.
That was the clone saga. Yeah, it was. That was the 90s Spider-Man. That design was the 90s.
No. I'm sorry. That was one
Spider-Man.
That was one storyline.
No, what I'm saying is
that was one storyline. That was the Ben Reilly storyline. That was like a year-long story. And then before that started and after that ended, it's always been Peter Parker. Miles Morales is a late 2000s.
Hold on. So then why did they create all these alternate Spider-Mans at that era?
Because
no one gave it about Peter Parker. They wanted to see something new. That's why they created Spider-Man 2099. That's why you had the
2099 wasn't just Spider-Man, though.
Yes, it was.
Because 2099 was an entire universe.
But it started with Spider-Man.
There was a Punisher 2099. There was a Hulk 2099.
That's why they created the symbiote suit. Well, that was the 60s. But they created the Venom storyline because Spider-Man was getting stale. They started creating all of these different Spider-Man. This Miles Morales is brand new. Everybody who started reading comics from 2004, they knew Miles Morales. Why? Because the Peter Parker story got to an end, and then they introduced Miles Morales, and that was the new Spider-Man, and that's it. And this new, the Marvel movies, they're not trying to pull things from the past. They're trying to make things correlate to the future. They should have used Miles Morales. Why? Also, because just like everybody's point, like on the Lemon City podcast, by the way, if you don't listen to Lemon City, you should do that right now.
No, not right now. You should finish listening to our show and then go listen to Lemon City.
Yes, whatever. But but at the end, when we were saying about like I didn't like that they didn't have Uncle Ben dying, and everybody's argument is we've seen it a bunch of times before, right? Everyone says that. What's better than just introducing a new Spider-Man?
The thing is, though,
what's better? Okay? Instead of the only thing that stays the same is the name Peter Parker. Why not just call it? Okay, so then hold on, let me finish my point. And then now we have the Spider-Man Spider-Verse story, and it's Miles Morales, and look how freaking amazing it was.
Okay, that Spider-Man Miles Morales exists in a universe where Peter Parker already exists as Spider-Man.
But he died.
Okay, but again, it is an existing universe in which Spider-Man is an established character, as Peter Parker Spider-Man, and then we get Miles Morales.
Right.
Just like in the comic books.
And
Peter came first, and then Miles was existing in that same universe.
right, but they did it how? How did they do it? They did it by acknowledging the old movies, right? So they don't have to tell you who Spider-Man is. You already know. Just like in this, they could have done the exact same thing for Homecoming.
But
they could have done the same thing.
Because I let you finish, and I let you spit out all your things.
All right, go.
All right. 2. This Marvel universe that we're seeing on movies has not had a Spider-Man in it. Because the Raimi Spider-Man, the Amazing Spider-Man, those weren't existent in this movie universe. Okay.
But we already know everything about Ben dying, so what's the point?
Well, the thing is, you're reintroducing this character who's a beloved character.
Okay, so then why not just have Ben Reilly or Uncle Ben back in it?
Because, again, you're rehashing a story that is already familiar to everybody.
Okay, so then why not just introduce a new character if we already know about this character?
Because you have to introduce
Because
Peter
Disney
Parker.
likes to do things that are safe, and they know that they're going to make money off of Peter Parker. Meanwhile, you have Sony doing some crazy crap. You have Venom being amazing, or at least for...
I saw Venom. It wasn't amazing.
Really? A lot of people were... I haven't seen it yet, but a lot of my friends are telling me that it was a lot of fun. You have
it was fun, but there was nothing amazing about it. And again, it's because you're introducing a Venom without first introducing a Spider-Man.
Right. I agree.
And
I
half
agree,
of that
I agree with that, but
character-
still, it's fun. It's a fun...
But half of that character is the hatred for Spider-Man.
Right. And then you have... and now you have Spider-Verse. That's...
Okay, and Spider-Verse does a really good job. But guess what? Along with Miles Morales is Peter Parker. And we don't just get one version of Peter Parker. We get 2 versions of Peter Parker.
Technically, you get 3? 4?
I'm trying to remember. Was Noir?
I think his name was Peter as well.
Is it?
I think so. I'm not sure.
I don't remember.
I know Peter Parker.
Well,
That's another Peter
because
Parker,
I know
just a
that
different universe.
Noir kind of played around with names a little bit. Just like the way that in the I think it was 1692 or something like that, or 1462.
Yeah, the one
kind of
by
played
Neil,
with the
Neil
names.
Gaiman. Yeah.
Which we could probably get that Peter Parker in a sequel. As the
I don't want Peter Parker. The whole point is I don't want any more Peter Parker.
But
we know enough about Peter Parker.
But you don't want the 1462 Spider-Man, the Renaissance era Spider-Man.
Yeah, I don't really care. I just like what Sony's doing. I really like what Sony's doing. These risks that they're taking, it paid off, man. It paid off. Everything about that movie was good. The storyline, the pacing. They introduced the Prowler, which most people had no idea what the Prowler was, and everybody was like, "Dude, the Prowler's the deal right there. That's a badass." They made Kingpin relevant in the movie universe because Kingpin hasn't been relevant since Daredevil, freaking Ben Affleck.
Well, I was gonna say Daredevil, the series on Netflix.
Well, okay, yeah, but that's not a cinematic universe. That's not a movie. That's not big screen. Which, by the way, breaks my heart that they're canceling all these things to put it on a Disney because they're going to dumb it down to hell. You know they are.
I don't think it's that they're canceling them to put them on Disney because they can't put those shows on Disney because they're owned by Netflix. Gus showed me a picture of one of our local television lawyers who has a striking resemblance. You're showing me like if he's the Kingpin. I think he looks a little more like Lex Luthor. You know, because
he's big.
Is he?
Lex Luthor isn't big.
Yeah, but when I think of the Kingpin, I'm thinking like
gigantic, like a wall, like the Sony one. Woo, that was so good.
Which actually I do like. I was looking at that animation of the Kingpin, and as much as I like it, I look at the animation of the Kingpin, and then I look like he's getting into a car, and I'm just like, how does he fit in that car?
Doesn't matter.
Like,
it's a cartoon. It doesn't matter.
It's kind of like
it doesn't matter.
It's cartoon physics.
It doesn't matter.
It's just weird.
God, but I love that movie. But yeah, so
it's just like the little things that they do here and there, like with that movie, that are just awesome. Like I don't know if you noticed, like when they're breaking out of like the lunchroom, and like he throws the bagel at somebody, and it hits the guy in the head. You get that little like sound effect that just says bagel.
It was so good, dude. That movie was so good. And then spoiler alert. I don't care if you haven't seen it.
Hey, I warned them at the beginning of the episode. There might be spoilers.
And then the reveal of Doc Ock. Yo, that was so good. I didn't see it coming. I assumed it was going to be classic Doc Ock, and that was the first villain you saw. So when you saw there was a chick, I'm like, oh, no, throw the.
What was
throw,
it?
throw
She
your
was
expecta-
Dr. Octavia.
Octavius. No, her name was Octavius. Just as she was a woman.
No, but instead of Otto,
It's I forget her first name, but it was Dr. Octavius. Yeah,
Right.
same thing. And then the tentacles on that made more sense. That they weren't metal; they were like that like gooey stuff. It made perfect sense.
And then I don't know if you noticed, like all the light fixtures in her office were all octagons.
Yep.
You know, it's a lot. So it was like, yeah, it was, like that movie just is so.
Okay, so let me ask you: do you think that was better than Homecoming? Oh, that's an easy.
I don't categorize them in the same, because like
it's so much better.
In the world of
don't listen to him; he doesn't know what he's talking about.
But the thing is, in the world of animation, you can do so many things that you cannot do in live action. Like 90% of that movie, you cannot do that in live action. It doesn't matter.
It's about storytelling. The storytelling for that movie. Okay, here's my gripe here.
I love the story in Homecoming, though.
Why? There's nothing.
In particular, I like the Vulture story.
Okay. Going into that, Vulture killed it. But then again, that's Batman, and everything Batman does is great. And
for reference, he's referring to Michael Keaton as Batman.
That's the only Batman that exists. So yeah. So Batman was also Birdman in that movie, and he killed it in Birdman. Michael Keaton is just amazing. He carried that entire movie on his back. But everybody else in that movie was just stale.
I don't know if you listen to any of Kevin Smith's podcasts, but like he's got a podcast. It's called Fat Man Beyond, and he was talking to his co-host, who's a writer. And they were talking about that what they should do is do a Batman Beyond movie and bring in Michael Keaton as the older Batman.
Of course. What, do you not like money? That's how you make money, boys and girls. You make Michael Keaton Batman again, and just do it. Just do it.
Okay, but what about Christian Bale? You don't like Christian Bale as Batman?
He was a bad Batman, but okay, those movies are great, but he was a bad Batman. Let's be real. He wasn't a good Batman.
Hot take.
Do you think he was a good Batman?
I enjoyed the hell out of those movies.
No, I'm not saying I love those movies. I don't think he was a good Batman.
Look, I don't think he portrays the character as like the Batman. Look, my Batman is Kevin Conroy.
Wait.
Animated series.
Wait. Oh, okay. I was thinking 60s. I'm like, wait, that's not his name. Okay. Yeah.
No.
But that's just a voice.
Not Adam West.
Yeah.
Kevin Conroy.
Right.
That is my Batman.
That's everybody's Batman. But he's not a live act. He doesn't act Batman. He just voices Batman.
Right. Well, you don't think there's acting in the voice?
No, obviously, but I'm talking about like physically acting Batman.
Right.
My point is Christian Bale did not physically act like Batman. And
right.
He was even worse than Bruce Wayne.
As much as I like that trilogy, and I have my issues with it, I don't so much have an issue with Christian Bale as I have to do maybe more with how the character was written.
No, it's Christian Bale's portrayal. He's maybe you're right. Maybe you're right. I didn't read the script, so I don't know what he did or what he took liberties on or whatnot. But his voice was terrible. Well, that masking voice that he did.
But again, that's I'm sure that's not his call. Like I'm pretty sure
that's his call.
I'm sure it's not like so.
So then Michael
we're
Keaton,
thinking you should do like a deep and gravelly voice for Batman, and he does that voice, and they go, "Yeah, we like it. We want to keep it." That's their decision. If he does that voice, and they're like, "No, I don't think that's gonna work."
No, man.
Then they can go in and they can decide to like digitize his voice or something.
Pass. He didn't do
that's what I liked on like the first couple of seasons of Arrow, is that like he used like a voice digitizer, and like it would like mask his voice so like nobody would.
That.
You know, they do that, and I think they did that in Batman v Superman too. Then doesn't he use like a voice digitizer?
But see, even that Batman was better than what's his Christian Bale's Batman. Christian Bale's Batman.
Well, I defend Ben Affleck.
Yeah, me too. He was great. Hate all you want on that guy, but he did it. He did that justice.
And Affleck was the bomb in Phantoms.
Yes, he was. Yes, he was, bro. Give me fucking.
You know,
that was good.
But listen, I will defend Ben Affleck. I've been a fan of Affleck. I'm not gonna say Mallrats because he was an asshole in Mallrats.
I liked him in Mallrats. He was awesome.
But his character was an asshole.
Yeah, he was a dick. But
Chasing Amy. When Chasing Amy came out,
someone just shit in your cereal. I love it, man. I love it, dude.
But ever since Chasing Amy, I've followed his career. I've gone on. Honestly, I think the guy is an even better director than he is an actor.
Oh yeah.
Like I think like movies like Gone Baby Gone and the Town, like those movies are amazing movies, and I think he needs to keep directing. Argo, he needs to keep directing even more. Maybe the acting but even when he's like done like stupid crappy stuff like Paycheck.
I don't
you know.
I don't know what you're talking about anymore. You just went down a rabbit hole.
You never saw Paycheck?
Nah.
That's the one with Uma Thurman that he plays like a scientist and like he invents a machine that can like look into the future. And Aaron Eckhart is
Sold.
like his.
I'm in. Let's watch this. I want to see.
Oh man, get your popcorn ready. It's one of those movies that's like so bad it's good.
Oh man, I can't wait. Yeah,
it is.
But yeah, I thought he was a better Batman than Christian Bale. Christian Bale.
But he's playing.
Like but here, I don't want everybody thinking that I just hate on everything. Christian Bale was a bad Batman, but those movies were up to par with the 1989 Batman. It was 89, not 90, right?
Yeah, it was 89.
89 Batman and Batman Returns. It's up to par with those.
See, I don't like Batman Returns.
What?
I don't like Batman Returns.
Hold on.
I prefer Batman Forever.
What?
Yeah.
Get out. Go home. This is unacceptable. What?
I don't like the first of all, Danny DeVito's Penguin
was
like,
amazing.
It was super creepy and weird, and like it's like I don't remember like, and at least growing up, like the Penguin was never this like weird guy like that. The Penguin was always just a guy in a suit.
I know, but he was taking liberties, man.
The Penguin, to my recollection, the Penguin was never like a mutant with like flippers for hands.
Well, that's what you get when Tim Burton directs anything. Yeah. You're gonna make it all weird. But it was
good.
It was good. It was one of those, bro.
The Max Shrek storyline in that is just weird with Christopher Walken chewing up the scene. Yeah, and don't get me wrong, I have nothing against Christopher Walken. I like Christopher Walken.
Of course you do. You better like Christopher.
I just don't like Christopher Walken in my Batman movie.
I liked him. He was creepy,
it's
man.
Weird. It's like,
no, he played
Batman. You had to save me. Thank you.
Yeah.
And it's just like, ugh.
I don't know. He was creepy to me. I thought he did a good job. I love that movie.
But you know what it is? Also, I'm not a huge fan of Tim Burton.
I love Tim
and
Burton.
Somewhere like 1,000 emo girls just got mad at me.
No, I love Tim Burton. I'm getting mad at you. I love Tim Burton. I think Tim Burton. Recently, no, because recently he's been doing some.
Well, he's
weird
done
stuff.
things that I like, but he's also done things that I'm just like, eh.
Yeah, but everybody does. Every director has done an movie. All of them. Recently, he's done a lot of movies, but whatever. What are you gonna do?
Well,
Batman was great. I loved it. The first Batman was with Jack Nicholson as Joker. I think there's never going to be a better Joker than that guy. He was amazing.
Excuse me.
What?
Mark Hamill.
I'm talking about physically acting. Of course. No. Okay. The animated series, everything to do with every voice in animated series has a pass. They win off the back. They just win.
So you're saying
they're not up to debate. They won.
So you're saying the animated series can't coexist in the same universe as the live action?
Absolutely not. They're so much better than all the other
Which brings
ones.
me back to Spider-Man and Into the Spider-Verse and why it's now you can't compare it to Homecoming.
I'm not talking about the movies in a whole. I'm talking about the actors, man. You're trying to flip the conversation to your benefit. I'm telling you about the actors.
Well, we'll let the people decide.
No,
if Pedro is admitting that the Batman animated series is far above all the live action Batman stuff,
the actors,
and therefore can't be compared.
The actors.
Then I have the right to say that Spider-Verse cannot be compared to Homecoming because it's like two different things.
No, the actors. You brought up Kevin Conroy and
listen, man,
and Mark Hamill.
Hey,
those are actors. Those aren't movies. Those are actors.
It is out there now. We will let the public decide.
You flipped my words. That's not fair.
Use the comment section. Hit us up on Twitter. We ain't found Sith at Twitter. We ain't found Sith on Instagram. And just let us know.
Actually, speaking of, most of these DC movies are better than the actual DC movies that are coming out.
You mean the animated?
The animated movies. Most of them are way better than the actual movies.
It's like it's reversed.
Yeah.
It's like DC is killing the animated market and like all the straight to home animated stuff, and then I think Marvel basically gave up on that because they were trying that for a while.
They're trash at it. Hit me with the slow one. Trash. Yes, that's exactly what these Marvel animated movies are.
But then DC can't get their live action franchises to
Aquaman was pretty good.
Well, it was fun.
It was a fun.
It was
movie.
fun. But
if you can't,
but they
just
pretty
as
much
fun as the Marvel movies.
But
you cannot say that.
Right, but now the Aquaman movie's kind of going to stand on its own because they've pretty much confirmed that
they're not going to do it.
They're not going to bring. They're not going to do another Justice
smarter
League.
Because the whole thing about DC is having alternate dimensions. So just have free reign, have fun with it, bro. Just don't have to. Not every comic book movie needs to be an epic saga like Marvel's doing, which I agree and disagree with what they're doing. But whatever, it's fun. But I would much rather see a Batman Beyond movie, a Gaslight movie, like live action, because I know they made the
Gotham by Gaslight.
Yeah,
But again, it's one of these things where it's like I look at the animated features are doing so well that I'm just like, why don't you just release these animated films into theaters?
Because they wouldn't do as well. Just be real. Most people are not so hyped to watch a cartoon.
But the people are gonna look. Fanboys were fanboys.
Unless it's Spider-Verse, because that movie was fantastic. It was freaking great.
But look, fanboys, we're gonna fanboy, right? We're gonna buy this stuff. We're gonna go out. We're gonna spend our money on it, regardless. Why not, before you bring it out onto DVD and we're gonna go or digital, release it in theaters?
I think it costs money to actually put it in theaters. I'm not sure, but I think that's the reason why they would.
You're Warner Brothers. It's not like you don't have the money. It's not like if you put an animated Batman movie into.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just trying to find a reason why they don't.
Now look, there are certain things where no, don't do it. But look, they just released Reign of the Superman, and earlier in the year they did the Death of Superman, and they should have released those into theaters, like they did. Like you said, Batman Gotham by Gaslight.
Actually, you might have a point there because that Broly movie was amazing. I don't know if it was really good. It was really, really good.
Broly or Brawly? Because I heard somebody say Brawly.
Who cares? It's the big dude with the green hair, and he punches people in the face really hard.
Okay. I don't know. I haven't watched Dragon Ball Z in 20 years.
He's nasty, bro.
Yeah. But it's one of these things where it's like you've got these good and there are certain things I would have that Batman Ninja.
That was a really dumb movie.
It was fun, but it was just weird. And then they're in the middle of that film, the animation style changes.
Yeah,
and it's like. What the hell is
this? It was super weird. And the giant mechs, this is super Japanese.
We've already talked about this in the past, but obviously we both had issues with the first half of The Killing Joke and the story they added onto it.
I don't think anybody liked that with the whole.
Yeah, I think that's pretty well documented.
Yeah, I don't think anybody was okay with that. That was just weird. But
but for the most part, they've been hitting with these animated features a lot better than they've been hitting with their live action. They should just be like, screw it, let's release it in the theaters.
Not screw it. Just do both. They're doing both.
Well, no, I'm not saying don't do the live action.
If they stopped doing the live action, we wouldn't have this Aquaman. And this Aquaman was pretty good.
But they can do the Fathom events and release these animated features.
I'm not saying they shouldn't, but I think they should just do both, like they've been doing. What if they get a grasp, like I think they're going to now, get a grasp on how to make these live action movies where they're not part of a giant universe, rather telling their own story, self-contained story. Bro, I think they would kill it. They would be so... Because look, all the original superhero movies, whatever, they were all self-contained stories, and they were all good back in the day. So I don't see why they wouldn't go back to that formula. Like the original Batman movie, the original TMNT movie, they were self-contained stories in their own right. Of course, they made sequels, but they told an entire story within their hour and 30 minutes or whatever that long it was. And I think that's a good idea. Not so much as trying to make every single character interweave to make a Marvel movie, because then obviously everyone's going to compare them to Marvel. And why do that? Just do your own thing.
But what Marvel's doing is working.
For Marvel, but it's not working for DC, is it?
Come on. For how many decades now these guys have been in the same market doing the same thing? Marvel showed you the way. You do the individual movies.
But not every. But hold up. Not everybody likes that. I don't. You like it, but not me.
Well, apparently so does the majority of the world, because those movies are making money like crazy.
That's true too, but not me. There's people who don't like it, man.
Well, as far as I know, if the comic books can all coexist and share a universe,
but
the movies can coexist
we're talking about
and share a universe.
Two different mediums, man. We have a comic book that is more series based, like a TV show, than is a movie. None of them are. Not even graphic novels are an hour and 30 minutes long. Not one of them. The smallest graphic novel is probably 3 to 4 hours long to read if you sit down and read it.
No, I think I'm pretty sure there's a couple of graphic novels you can get through a lot faster than that.
Statistically,
now keep in mind that you and I read in different formats, because you're an art guy, so you will take the time to look at each piece of artwork and go over each piece of artwork.
Yes, but
I'm not an art person. To me, the art is secondary. Mm-hmm. I am definitely all about the story. So I will blow through a story, and I can sit there and read a comic and a trade in under an hour, and just blow through it, and then go back and then be like, oh, this panel was cool or that panel was cool.
Okay, you said one trade in 1 hour, right?
Yeah, I can probably do that.
Think of one story plot that's less than three issues, three trades.
I can give you one that I can read in under 20 minutes.
Which one?
300.
300 is a perfect one, but that was one out of like a million of them. That's one movie. Not one of these DC movies, not one of these. That's a Dark Horse story, by the way. Not one of, and a lot of Dark Horse stories are made for TV. Most of their stories are. Speaking of Dark Horse, this is completely off tangent, but The Goon finally went back to the original creator's own publishing, so it's no longer in these Dark Horse.
Wasn't he trying to turn that into like an animated?
Albatross. They're still doing it. It's Blur Studios. One of my boys still works over there. Is still working on that movie. It's not out yet. It's been in production forever, and I can't wait for it. But that was a tangent anyway.
But yeah, like it's one of these things where like, look, Marvel showed you the winning formula.
No, man, and that's not how you should do it. Not everybody should do the same thing because then it gets stale, it gets boring.
Look, I'm not saying that they need to do it in the exact same way, but I want.
No, I don't.
If I'm watching a Superman movie.
No, I don't.
I want the possibility that at some point, maybe down the road, I might see Superman on the same screen as Batman, and it won't be like two brand new actors that I've never seen before. It'll be these guys that I've been watching.
But why not?
That's what I'm saying.
What's the problem with it being different actors? What's the problem with it?
It's not that. It's that if I get different actors, that means this is a brand new, completely different movie. That means that now you need to reintroduce me to these guys. Because,
no, you don't.
Because this Superman and this Batman are playing it different.
No, you don't. Because, look, it's Spider-Verse. They acknowledge that all of the movies exist. All the Sam Raimi movies exist. They even say it. They blatantly say it, don't they?
No, they don't blatantly say it.
Yeah, they do it.
But they show you footage.
Exactly. That's what I mean. They blatantly say it by showing you the footage and the stuff that happens. They show you what happens in the comic books with him getting hit by the drone. Remember? That was in the comic book. They showed you about the train or the bus going through the
train, yeah.
Or no, the bus going through.
Yeah, the train. When he stops the train from the front.
No. The bus or the car that goes through the coffee shop and he stops it in Spider-Man 2. Yeah. So they show you that. They show you the dancing, the little finger guns and whatever from Spider-Man 3. So they acknowledge that those actually exist in that universe, but they're different actors, and they do it really well. So I don't see what the problem is. Let other people take the reins.
I don't see that as being.
It's not. It shouldn't be. To me, it shouldn't be this way because why? Actors get old, man. And this is what's happening now. We can't have another Captain America because this. So
you're saying the James Bond solution?
Yes, I love James Bond. That's a perfect solution. Yes.
But what about the theory that James Bond is a code name?
Doesn't matter. I don't care about theories. I like that because why? I know what I'm getting into when I go watch a 007 movie. I know what I'm getting myself into. Who's playing it? I get to judge. I like this James Bond more than this one. I like this Michael Keaton more than
that's
more
a cool theory.
And I see
nothing
wrong with it.
Yeah, that's a cool theory up until like this most recent set of movies where they basically like, no, James Bond is his real name and he grew up here and this was the family that raised him and all of that crap. I don't
care. I think it's great.
But
I love that.
But that was a cool theory always of like, well, James Bond is not really his real name. It's a code name that goes along with the 007, and that's why you get different people.
I see nothing wrong with any of that stuff. I like it. I like the different stuff.
I like, and it's maybe because I just grew up reading Marvel comics where
like for
heroes
example,
ran into each other.
For example, I hate how they depict Star-Lord in the, and you know I love the Guardians of the Galaxy movies. It's my favorite one of the Marvel movies. It's my favorite, but I hate how they depict his character. I hate how he's dressed. I hate how he talks. I hate everything about him. But I love the movies. I would have loved to have seen a different character.
Yeah, I know, Gus. I'm puzzled too.
What?
Gus just made a face like, huh?
Whatever.
Yeah. But
what are you puzzled about?
The fact that you're saying I love everything about it except the way that he looks and the way that he walks and the way that he talks.
Yeah, I don't like that character. I don't like how he's depicted. But I like the whole plot that they have,
which centers around him.
Right, but I like how they bounce off of each other. I don't like that he doesn't have that suit, the classic suit that he has, the bomber, whatever you call that thing.
Well,
I like that
stuff
look.
Just doesn't
I don't
translate
like his helmet.
to live action.
I don't like that helmet. I think that helmet looks wonky as hell. I hate the fact that he's just wearing a jacket and jeans in space. Give him some sci-fi. You know what I mean?
Look, man, some stuff looks good on camera and some stuff doesn't.
Nah, man. I've seen sci-fi movies. Star Wars. They have silly crap all over that thing, and it looks dope. And then you got Star-Lord in space with a freaking jean jacket or leather jacket and leather pants. Whack. Give him some cool-looking crap.
I don't know, man. I like the jacket.
No, man.
I wish I could.
That's such a bad character design.
My only problem with the jacket is that I wish I had a body that could pull that look off, and I don't.
Get out of here, man.
Because fat man in a leather jacket is just not very like.
Whatever, bro.
I'll put this leather jacket on. I'm gonna look hard.
Bro.
And in reality, I look like a wannabe biker. But
So you think that character design is cool?
I like it, man. It suits the character as we know it on the screen. You know, I know it's not the character design from the comics, but most of these character designs are not the character designs from the comics.
I know, and I'm not okay with all the other ones. Even the new Spider-Man suit I thought looked sick as hell. But Guardians of the it's space. Give him some space crap, man. He doesn't have any space crap.
So you want him in like a spacesuit?
Well, at least the helmet, make it look more space. It's literally just a mask. Even the top of his head is showing.
Well, the one issue I would agree with on that, and it's like nitpicky, but it's like, and I'm willing to let it go, but it's like, okay, so the mask covers his face, and that keeps him from dying in space. But like the rest of his body, which is exposed to the sub-zero temperatures,
he's wearing like a freaking Coca-Cola T-shirt and like it's cargo shorts in space. Like, that's gonna freeze, bro. It's
like
gonna be frozen.
Yeah, like Yondu is going up and Yondu is freezing. But if Yondu had been wearing a mask, he would have been fine. He would have been fine. Forget the fact that like he would have gotten frostbite on his limbs.
Nah, man. I don't like the design. And you know how I am. I'm an artist at trade, so like I like looking at design, things that look aesthetic. It doesn't. Everybody else in that cast looks aesthetic. Even them changing the color to the best character in that movie. What's that big guy's name?
Groot?
No, the big guy.
Drax?
Yes. They changed him from being green. You know why they changed him from being green?
Because Gamora's green.
Because Gamora's green, and you want people to like stand out when you have them, lined up. That's why they changed his color, and it works and looks good.
But remember that Drax forever in the comics also had that like purple cloak.
That's true. But that's old school. I'm talking about the newer school with the blue jackets that they all wear the same jacket. That's the one I was.
Well, I think when they brought back Drax in the Annihilation storyline,
he was shirtless.
He was green, but they gave him all the red tattoos and all of that. So changing him from green to like a bluish color, like it wasn't a huge change, but it's still like it.
But it's appealing. It pops out in your eyes, and the Gamora green, the yellow circles around her eyes. It's just aesthetically pleasing. All of that still works in the camera's eye. But then you have this guy, straight up, some dude hanging out in Detroit with a jacket and jeans in space shooting lasers. Come on, man, get a little bit creative, bro.
Well, I mean,
even Han Solo had some cool looking crap on.
The way I look at it too is like, because he spent his early years on Earth and he has this kind of look of what's cool and what's or whatever. That look, he's got kind of like a.
Where did he find those jackets? Did he go back to Earth? Come on, bro, he's in space.
Well, I'm sure those aren't cowhide. I'm sure that's like some weird alien leather.
Man, you will defend it to the day you die, bro.
Yes, I will.
God dang.
All right. Anyways, so I think that's gonna bring us to the end. But I did want to talk a little bit of Far From Home from you. I know the trailer came out a couple of weeks ago, and I know you don't like Homecoming, as we've established.
No,
but
I like the Vulture. I don't want to hate on it completely. The Vulture was killing it.
But what have you seen the trailer for Far From Home? What are your thoughts?
Like I said, Disney knows how to make good trailers, but I know it's not going to be that good. Just because I'm skeptical with the fact that they showed Jake Gyllenhaal's face right off the bat.
Right. But now here's the thing, and this is that I have no confirmation on this. I have no news pertaining to this.
It's just pure speculation.
Yeah. So don't say, I spoiled something for you if you're listening to this a year from now.
Trash.
But I think Jake Gyllenhaal is not his real face.
Oh, that would be sick.
Because I think, we all know this. It's Mysterio. He casts illusions, right? That's like the whole storyline was when it came out in the comic books.
Okay.
So if he wants to, what better way to be a hero than to have the Jake Gyllenhaal face, who's a very handsome man.
Yeah, because he's supposed to be an ugly dude. So, yeah.
Right? So what if, like, when they catch him and then it's revealed, like, first of all, here's the dome. Because that's the one thing I want to see is I want to see the big old dome head.
They haven't showed it. I want to see that too.
And then when they deactivate, it's like a Jake Gyllenhaal hologram. They deactivate it, and then we get like, some average-looking guy. I don't know.
That'd be sick. I think that the storyline they're going with is the very original.
Or even Jake Gyllenhaal, but, just not as good-looking.
CG'd uglied up.
Yeah.
Which is like have you seen Punisher, the second season?
I'm like halfway through it.
You've seen it? Have you seen Jigsaw's face?
Yeah.
That's not ugly, bro. He just got a little scratches on it. Get out of here, bro.
Bro,
make him look ugly, man.
If anything, he looks hotter than he did before.
Yeah, he looked like he's been.
Because now he looks like he's like, he's been
he's been through some crap.
Like if I'm a woman, I'm like, that man has been through some stuff, and he's a former soldier, and I just wanna make him forget all about the bad things that have happened to him. Like it gives him like, what is it, like chicks dig scars?
Yeah.
You know?
That's what it looks like. It doesn't. He's supposed to have like one eye with no eyelid. It's just an eyeball popping out of his skull. She's supposed to be looking ugly,
like Punisher Warzone.
Ugly. You know what I mean? Yeah, like Punisher. Yes, like that.
Like Punisher Warzone,
like
where it was just
ugly looking dude.
You know.
But no, he just has a couple of scratches on him. Whatever, no big deal.
That or like Gary Oldman in Hannibal.
Yes.
Like
I want an ugly looking dude,
but you know, they went a different way, and the whole Jigsaw thing is supposed to be more about like his mental state than his looks.
That plot was kind of dumb. Anyway,
but I'm only halfway through the season. I'm like, I just finished episode 6.
But going back to that the Far From Home, I like what I saw. I'm not going to say that it was bad. I don't know, man. They don't sell me anymore. These Marvel movies don't sell me. They don't. I know that they always kill it with their trailers, and they never.
Listen,
they never make it good. I don't know.
I'm not going to say that I've loved every movie, and there are certainly movies that have come out that I think have been overhyped and that people have liked it more than it really was, and it's just going to take a while for them to see that movie wasn't as good as they thought it was. But at this point, Marvel has built up enough credit with me. Like there are 2 studios in the world.
So you're just straight up saying you're biased. You don't mind.
I mean, look, it's not that. Is it? They've built up credit with me that I'm willing to give them a shot.
Oh, me too. I watch all these on opening night. For preview example, night, not even opening night.
Like, I'm skeptical as hell about Wonder Woman 1984.
Me too.
Especially because it's like, you've already established that she hung up her boots in like World War One.
Yeah. Well, they told you that
and
they're vetoing
supposedly
that.
she went into.
Yeah, they're vetoing that.
Yeah. Now they're retconning it to like, oh no, she's been around like for a while. It's like, but all right, so you're basically saying fuck it, and now we're gonna get. But then it's like, why like the same thing with Dark Phoenix? Why do we have to go back to the 80s? Because Stranger Things is popular?
Because everybody likes the nostalgia. Whatever. I don't hate it. I like the 80s. It adds to, if they do it right, it looks cool. Like
Stranger Things.
No. Like the X-Men movie, the First Order. What was it? First one? Future Past, and the one before that.
The one after that.
No, the front one before it, where they're in the 60s.
No, Apocalypse.
No, the one before it, 60s.
Yeah, that Days of Future Past.
No, the one before.
Oh, First Class.
First Class. There you go. That one looked good because it was a period piece, and it looked like the 60s. It looked good.
Right.
So I don't mind it, but everybody doing it, let's pump the brakes, boys and girls. It's not.
Well, I would have been much more interested in seeing another Wonder Woman like during a major world event. In the 1980s, there wasn't any. It's
the Cold War.
That was a Cold War,
but
that's probably what they will do.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure they're going to make Cheetah some sort of, like, Russian agent or something.
I don't know. I'm hyped for it. I want to see it anyway. I'm hyped for all these movies up until I see it, and then I get severely disappointed.
Well, with the DC, but that's the thing. With the DC movies is I've stopped going to see them in theaters.
Oh, I do. I watch all of them. And I watch all of them, and I leave like, that was a colossal waste of time.
For me, Justice League was the last one.
Martha.
Like,
what's her name?
Well, no, that was BVS.
Oh yeah.
That was Batman vs Superman, and even then I didn't learn my lesson. Even then I didn't learn my lesson, and I still went to go see Justice League because Wonder Woman was good. So and even then I have my issues with Wonder Woman. I think the entire third act of Wonder Woman
trash.
It was like when it went from being when it went into being a Zack Snyder movie,
knives flying, punch him in the face,
slow-mo fighting,
all CG.
Yeah,
that's all Marvel movies in a nutshell.
Up until that point, I was like, oh, Wonder Woman, this movie's dope, and then that happened.
Yeah,
and I was
exactly, because who
like,
cares
wow,
about punching cartoons in the face? It doesn't matter. Right. I want to see these characters talk about real life stuff.
Right. But even then, like, okay, Wonder Woman comes out, and I like 2/3 of Wonder Woman. And then I'm like, all right, I'm going to give Justice League a chance. And then Justice League happens.
Okay, hold on. So let's try to wrap this up with top DC or Marvel movie. Oh, Marvel movie. Let's do that. So that not everybody thinks that
top Marvel movie?
Your favorite Marvel movie.
Ooh.
Mine is Guardians 1. I love that movie. Just so that we don't sound like we're just hating, or I sound like I'm just hating.
Oh, man. Okay, so number 1 by a slim margin.
There is no number 2. It's just 1.
But it's like it's by the slimmest of margins.
Yeah, let's say it.
God, okay, so this is not objective.
Just the Marvel ones.
This has
Just the
nothing to
Marvel
do
ones.
with how good of a movie it is or whether it checks. This is purely going off of how I felt watching the movie.
Of course.
Avengers.
Blech. Okay. No. All right. No, it's a punching in the face movie,
look,
but it was good.
If we're talking about like film, like who's got the best story and stuff like that, I would probably say something along the lines of like Captain America: Winter Soldier.
That was really good. Yeah.
But
mine's still I
truth.
like Guardians.
But at the end of the day, like when I saw Avengers, when I saw all those characters on screen together, when Hulk grabs Loki and smashes them back,
fun.
Like that
fun.
movie just, I joygasmed.
And then Gus? Black Panther. He said Black Panther. Of course he liked Black Panther because the soundtrack was phenomenal. Yeah. So, yeah.
But, yeah, that's... So is that going to be a thing? Are we going to end...
I just actually wanted to know because we were talking about this the whole time, and I just feel like you like all the movies, and I just wanted to see what... what's the reign supreme?
Again,
what's the seal of approval for Evan? What does Evan want to see in a Marvel movie?
It just comes down to what am I like? Because I do things by criteria. You know, look, Avengers is not the best Marvel movie, but it's my favorite.
To you, exactly. It doesn't matter. One of my favorite movie of all time is Blues Brothers. Most people can't even stand that movie, but I love it to hell.
Whoever can't stand Blues Brothers sucks.
I agree.
If you don't like Blues Brothers, don't subscribe to our show. Don't write to us. Just disappear.
Yeah, absolutely. That movie's fantastic.
Now,
I just wanted to know.
Now, if you don't like Blues Brothers 2000, then I'm willing to give you a pass.
The music's still good, but the movie was trash. You hit it. Trash. Yes, just like that. Nice and slow too.
But I still enjoyed the hell out of Blues Brothers 2000.
I did too because the music is fantastic. But yeah, I just wanted to know, where you stand on these movies, and I wanted you to see where I stand because I love Guardians.
Yeah. No, look, Guardians is a great movie too. Guardians is probably in my top 5.
Guardians 1, Guardians 2, I like too, but not as much as 1.
Well,
one hits you in the feels with the Groot.
Well, the problem with Guardians 2 is that they're like, what's all the good stuff that worked in Guardians 1, and let's do that again.
Exactly, it's the same movie again.
But yeah,
but I think Drax killed it in 2. That's it.
Oh well, but Drax killed it in 1 too.
Yeah, but he killed it more in 2.
Yeah.
He slaughtered it in 2.
Well, yeah, literally, he jumped inside of it and was attacking it with knives from the inside.
True. Oh man, that's.
But I think we've been kind of going on for. If we hit the hour mark, Gus.
Oh, we passed it.
We passed it. Oh wow! Because last time I checked, we were at half an hour.
Yep.
So I think it's we're gonna end it here, and again, hit us up on the comments. Let us know what you liked. Let us know let us know where Pedro was wrong.
No, I'm not wrong, but let us know what your top Marvel movies are. Top 5. Let's hear it. I want to hear it.
No. Let's not do top 5. Just
I want to hear
what's your favorite Marvel movie?
Yeah,
just one. Okay. Keep it to one. What's your favorite Marvel movie? Let us know.
All right.
And we'll see you guys again next week. We ain't found Sith. WAFS.
We ain't found Sith.